Good afternoon and welcome back to Airports Live TV with me, Adam James. We are live from Dublin International this afternoon. On departures, I thought we'd mix it up a little bit. We always seem to be doing arrivals at the moment. So let's just mix it up a little bit. Let's see some action from the newest of the runways here at Dublin International. The North runway. First departure is going to be this Aer Lingus operated Airbus A320 heading over to Santiago. She's a 22-year-old aircraft, first registered in February of 2001. Probably one of the oldest aircraft on that Aer Lingus fleet right now. And here she comes. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Apologies for being absent. I have been struggling with my back the last few days. I'm still struggling now, but we must continue. There we go, that A320 up and away. Landing gear safely stowed. Beginning that right-hand bank now to try and avoid as many noise complaints as possible from the people who bought houses around an airport. But hey ho, and there you go, she's heading into those murky looking clouds. It is a beautiful day here though, being nice and warm. There's a slight breeze and it is only a very slight breeze today. Unfortunately, rain is forecast throughout this week, but we will try our best to stream around the rain. The next departure gonna be an Airbus A319, this time operated by Eurowings, heading over to Dusseldorf in Germany. A 16-year-old aircraft, first registered in June of 2007. Welcome to everybody who is joining us. Jamie Football, big up to you. Instincts, how are you? Siobhan, welcome. Charles Condren, how are we doing? Val, welcome. There's another guy on the other side of the airport live on YouTube. Who is it? Are you Plane Spotters? Here we go, this A319 up and away. Charles, don't worry about the rest. The best are live right now. The real OGs of live aviation at Dublin International. We're live every day this week. Unless there's any shocking weather that just means we literally can't get live at any point throughout the day. Yes, Jamie. Quick look at the ATC tower. I do like this area because we do get to see this tower a lot better, although that barbed wire seems to be in the way today. As always, we are brought to you in proud partnership with Booking.com, travel supermarket on the beach holidays, lastminute.com, and of course EasyJet UK. Quite a lot of you took advantage of that offer. We only put it up there for like 3 hours. It is going back up. We were just testing it from their side just to check everything was working. I see on TikTok around there, got a flat tyre. When was that, Siobhan? Oh, Dubjet around there. Right, let me quickly make sure that we've got all of the flight radar up and running properly, because we have had issues with flight radar of late. We'll get our next departure though whilst we are waiting for that to update. I don't know where it's going. I'm going to take a punt and say she's going to Zurich. I know a lot of you guys like the arrivals, and I'm not going to lie, so do I, especially when it's windy. But I don't know, there's just something about departures, especially when you can be up close and personal like this. We're less than probably 150, 200 metres from rotation point on this north runway. And it's just nice to be able to see them so up close. So I'm just quickly adjusting a couple of settings because we are in a different location. How was everybody's weekend anyway? Mine was full of pain and misery. There's something interesting to be talking about today though, and we shall get to that in a second. It's not about us, it's about aviation in general. Denia, how are we doing? Sean Cahill, welcome. Where is this? We're on the north runway at Dublin. Denia, I used to watch you a lot on TikTok, and for the last few months I didn't know where you've gone. Jamie Kelly, we are here on YouTube bringing you the highest quality content we possibly can. Departures are quiet today. Everything's quiet on a Monday at Dublin. That is one of the issues we're seeing, and maybe this is just me, but last summer didn't seem as quiet as this. I think we spoke about this on a few lives of late, and last summer just didn't seem as quiet as this, either on arrivals, departures. The airport itself seemed busier. They are indeed, Denia. On arrivals on 2-8, we've got departures around here on the north runway. I like to mix it up. I don't like being in one space all the time. We've still got a few heavies to go out today as well, so why not come around and do some of the heavy departures? we are testing something out today as well, which is one of the reasons why we've come around here. And that is, I deliberately haven't shared this live anywhere. I'm just trying to see what is happening with the TikTok algorithm, because we had a conversation with our account manager at TikTok. Sorry, at YouTube. TikTok, somebody just mentioned TikTok. So we had the conversation because I've been speaking to some other people, not in this niche, but in other niches on YouTube. And they're very strongly of the belief that something has changed within the algorithm. And these are channels, big channels, big communities. And they feel like they're almost being restricted on their views, and they don't really understand why. Both in terms of video content and live content, and nobody seems to understand what has happened. So I reached out to the account manager at YouTube to see what was the case, because I do know that people aren't receiving notifications at times, which is frustrating, not only for me but for you guys as well. Like, as you see, when we come off live, our view numbers within 24 hours are relatively normal. It's just whilst we are live, we just don't seem to be triggering that algorithm as quickly as we used to and as we should do. Now, obviously, we do have the issue of more and more people, since we became so successful here at Dublin, more and more people jumping on the bandwagon, of course, and it does dilute content a little bit, which I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm going to be honest. I don't really. How are we doing, James Davis? Carl Shield, welcome. I got a notification today, but didn't for a couple of your passengers. Exactly, Neve. Some people are getting them, some people aren't. Some people get them one day, not another. I don't really know how I feel about the influx in streamers at Dublin. It's a difficult one for me, because I'm all about trying to share as much live aviation as we possibly can, encouraging as many people into the passion of aviation. Christopher, welcome. And to do that, we need as much streaming as we possibly can. My issue arises because of the nature of what is happening. You've got broadcasters like me, you've got streamers like me that are, it is our living, it is our job, we're a media company, and then you've got people who are doing it for a hobby, and that makes it more difficult for us, because obviously we care about the level of content we put out. I'm not saying others don't, but we care about the level of content we put out. We won't, if we don't think we can get high quality content, we just won't stream. It's simple. But the biggest issue I've got, and you know what it is, and that is that these hobbyists tend to have this ego metric going on, and this ego that needs to be burst in regards to not mentioning other broadcasts, other streams and stuff like that, and that frustrates me. Here we go, we've got this Boeing 767 operator by Delta heading over to Boston. This is why I like being on the North Runway for departures. Up close, personal, and great shots here of the Boeing 767 ascending into those grey looking skies to begin that journey over to Boston. She's a 24-year-old aircraft registered in June of 1999. So yeah, it's a difficult one for me. What I don't want to happen for Dublin, because Dublin does have a great enthusiast community, it really does. Not necessarily from a streaming point of view, not even necessarily from a huge amount of still photos being posted left, right and centre, but the community itself is strong around Dublin, and I don't want it to turn into the Wild West, which is what we've seen at airports around the UK. It's starting to turn into the Wild West, where there's that many streamers turning up that are just rude to each other. And like, I know of people going to Manchester and literally being kicked off, and I mean physically, the foot in the back off of picnics to try and take a video, whether they be streaming or just taking video for themselves. That is what's happening over in the UK, and it's something I don't want to start seeing here. Dublin to Boston. I'm all good, thank you, James Davies. Dave Airplane joined us from Denver in Colorado. Welcome to you. Denaya, how is work going? Let me just check this departure. We're heading over to Stansted now with this Boeing 737 operated by Ryanair UK. 16 years old, registered in February of 2007. There is a slightly different shot that I want to try one day this week from the North Runway for departures. It's a tough shot in the sense of a technical shot, but I think it will look phenomenal. So I'm going to try it later on this week. I just wanted to get a stream done today. Obviously we've been away for a couple of days, so I just wanted to get us back live. Let's have a quick chat about the protests that we're seeing all over the UK. To just stop oil protests, because there's something come out in the news today. Next departure is an Airbus A320 heading over to London Heathrow. 15 years old, registered in November of 2007. Bear with me, let me find it if I can. We'll get this departure first. Odd engine cowlings. It is an older aircraft though, so I suppose for once we can forgive Aer Lingus for the odd engine cowlings on this A320 that's heading over to London Heathrow. It frustrates me the most when it's on like a 2 and 3 year old aircraft. There we go, she is up and away. So I'm just trying to find this article. Here we go. Let me quickly come back to my chat for a second before we start discussing it. When are you live, Andrews? We're live right now, Sean Cahill. The show is great. Keep doing what you're doing. Great job. Thank you, Dave Airplane. Jamie Kelly, that's an interesting question. I love streaming YouTube. As an individual, as a business, it's always been about trying to deliver the highest quality content that we possibly can. And YouTube allows us to provide a lot higher quality than we can do on TikTok. Not only in terms of resolution, but in terms of orientation of the screen and orientation of the video delivery. So Overall, I prefer streaming to YouTube. There's elements that I miss from TikTok. For example, the likes. Because we know with TikTok, if you're live and you can generate enough likes, your live will be pushed out there further and further. One thing I don't like about TikTok, and we are seeing an astronomical rise in the aviation broadcast on TikTok, is how easy it is, how cheap it is to buy views. When you've got a live with 1,000, 1,500 people sat in it, 2,000 people, and that chat on TikTok is 5 comments every 5 or 10 seconds, it is very, very obvious that the views have been bought. If you've got 1,000 people in a live on TikTok, especially an aviation live, you cannot read the comments because they just move that quickly. I've been there, I've done it, I know how quickly it moves. Right, let's get back to today's news. We've got an ATR 72-600 series heading over to Eskimo land whilst we discuss it. But there's an article come out today that I first saw in, well, the first attention I paid to it was in the Daily Mail online. And it relates back quite closely and quite tightly to the Just Stop Oil, what are they called, zealots, morons, whatever they're called. They've ground London to a halt this morning. How they haven't passed a new law to stop this, because at the end of the day, if I was driving my car across both lanes on a road at 1 kilometre or 1 mile an hour, I would be stopped and told I could not do that. But yet these idiots can walk down the street blocking ambulances, blocking fire engines, the lot. But anyway, let's move on from that. The person that is funding Just Stop Oil in a big, big way is a guy called Dale Vince. Now, he now is building the second part of his career by investing in eco-friendly in inverted commas businesses. He's announced that from 2025 people will be able to take guilt-free zero emission flights from I think it's Southampton to Glasgow, Southampton to Edinburgh on electric planes. Going to be powered by hydrogen electric engines. They are going to be retrofitted, which is quite interesting. Now, the reason behind the retrofitting is because it's going to save 90,000 tonnes of carbon a year, apparently, by using retrofitted aircraft. Now, I would argue the reason they're using a retrofitted aircraft is because they're not that confident in the future of this business. On board, passengers will be treated to plant-based meals. What more could you want on board a flight than a plant-based meal served by staff in environmentally friendly uniforms? Oh wow, oh wow. Environmentally friendly uniforms for the staff on board all EcoJet flights. Flights to mainland Europe are going to follow shortly after, with long-haul trips to the likes of the US and Asia being the ultimate goal. It goes on to say Vince is a multi-millionaire vegan eco-tycoon who has donated money to the Labour Party, no surprises there, and climate activists Just Stop Oil. Now my question is, first of all, do you think it's a good idea? Second, do you think it is a viable possibility for airlines to go full electric in our lifetime? Will it happen in the long term? Quite possibly. Will it happen in our lifetime? That is the question. Now, I guess it's quite ironic that somebody who is so against the use of oil, so eco-friendly, is trying to start an airline, because let's be real, you might be retrofitting your first few aircraft, but ultimately if you want to be a genuine bona fide airline, you are going to have to invest in new aircraft at some point, because people expect to be travelling on modern new aircraft. We don't all want to be travelling on aircraft that are 20 years old, 25 years old. So it's quite ironic, because the carbon footprint of building an aircraft, forget the engine, forget the emissions that come out of that, it has to be built from materials that have a huge carbon footprint. So the question is, do you think this will ever happen? We need to look at trying to change attitude to some extent. But I do think it's quite ironic. I think it's... Let's be brutally honest and put this into perspective, okay? The guy behind this is a guy that is a big supporter of grinding countries to an absolute standstill whenever they feel like it. So they don't care about people getting to cancer treatment. They don't care about kids getting to hospital when they're desperately ill. They don't care about families travelling abroad to funerals or to visit dying loved ones. They don't care about any of this, because it suits their agenda to close roads. So my concern is, if you've got a CEO of an airline that is willing to support that, and quite publicly support it as well, my concern is 5 years time, people book their family holidays, then all of a sudden he decides, you know what, no, I don't like Tuesdays anymore, so we're not flying on a Tuesday, and cancel your flight at the last minute. Or indeed, decide to block the road to the airports. That is my concern. Well, they need longer runways. Charles, I don't know. Could be worse, Adam. It could be a meal of insects and forage weeds. That will be next. I don't know. It scares me that these people that are on these protests just have, in my opinion, how can you have any morals when you are openly blocking ambulances and people are jumping out of their cars and begging you, please just move, my 6-year-old daughter needs cancer treatment, we're on our way to get her chemo, and they refuse to move? How can anybody have any trust in that level of person? I don't understand. Nothing wrong with protests as long as they obtain proper permits and follow the rules. But Denia, this is the issue, isn't it? Because Just Stop Oil are who are causing all the issues in the UK at the moment. And I find it highly, highly unlikely that they obtained a permit that allowed them to jump on a snooker table at the World Snooker Championships and throw orange powder all over it. I find it highly, highly unlikely that they obtained a permit that allowed them to try and ruin somebody's wedding, politician or not, by turning up and throwing orange confetti all over them. This is the issue. They're a law to themselves. I'm not against protest, but protesting when it is affecting people getting medical treatment whilst turning up, and this has been proven, these professional protesters that are on every protest on the planet, next year they'll be protesting for use more oil because they're just professional protesters that don't want to get a job. But these people are turning up to these Just Stop Oils in cars. This is the issue. They're turning up in cars. Well, how can you turn up in a car when you're against using oil? Thursday, 1:20. Sir Spotter, remind me on Wednesday. I'd look to your law enforcement for how they respond. But deny it. Listen, I completely agree that there should be a hell of a lot more done to protesters than is. The issue is they end up in court, they get a slap on the wrist. Or you put them in prison, you risk making them into a martyr then, don't you? And they all of a sudden think they're Nelson Mandela. I do think there should be more done. But my issue is, and think about this question, how can we trust somebody with the lives of initially between 17 and 70 passengers on board an aircraft that supports a protest that is only legal in a very, very grey area of the law by obstructing a highway, because they are actually moving, so they are walking slower than a snail, but the fact that they're actually moving does make it legal in a very grey area. But how can we trust that person to be the CEO of a company that at any one time, even with one flight in the air, has at least 17 people's lives at his hands, when he won't condone the behaviour of protesters that are stopping emergency vehicles, ambulances, trying to get patients to intensive care? How can we trust that? That's my question. I know it's going to be controversial. I know there's going to be people who are very eco-friendly, and I'm not against eco-friendly. If you want to recycle, if you want to do all that and you want to be eco-friendly, then all well and good. One thing I will say is be very careful before you buy an electric vehicle, because all this about it saves you money, it actually doesn't. You can't have conversations like this. You can ramble and switch topics. Deny it, I'm not switching a topic. I agree fundamentally that potentially we need to look at our emissions and at our carbon footprints. However, it could be argued that it is simply evolution. The cavemen did their thing, and then it evolved, and then it evolved, and then it evolved, and that's the reason why we have the amazing lives that we have. But to have somebody as a CEO that just doesn't care about people getting to hospital for life-saving treatment, I don't know. Having them as a CEO of an airline, is it a fit and proper person? I don't know, but here we go. We've got this A330 now on departure. Enjoy this. I will say one other thing on this, and I think it's quite interesting from reading the article. Now, obviously, I'm assuming there will be more information coming very soon, or indeed on the EcoJet website, so do check them out. There is, from what I can see, no indication on price point. Is it going to be a case of we're almost looking at taking, with EcoJet for example, almost looking at taking aviation back to being almost a niche company within EcoJet, where it's going to be a case of, look, you're paying for the privilege of travelling so-called eco-friendly? I don't know. It's hard to believe that the world's leading airlines haven't announced that they're going to be launching any sort of flights in the next couple of years using hydroelectric energy, if it is financially viable. So it could be that these flights are going to be crazy money. Flight radar is free, but you do pay for, like, if you want to find out the ages of aircrafts and a lot more info about previous flights, that is a paid option. quite interesting though, flight radar. You can actually use, I think they call it AR, in the top left corner of flight radar. And you just point your phone up at the sky and it'll tell you what's flying over you, it'll tell you what aircraft it is, where it's going, and all that jazz. Can be quite interesting. There we go, we've got an ATR up and away. Yeah, so do I, Sir Spotter. See you later, Jamie Kelly. Have a great day, buddy. Gives me all the info I need. Yeah, Neve, to be honest, if I wasn't streaming, I would probably use the free version. I suppose it depends how much you actually want to look at it, doesn't it? Who's the CEO? The CEO is... I forgot his name again, that's how important it is to me. Dale Vince. Phil Tovey, how is Warwickshire today, my man? The next departure, going to be heading over to Geneva this time with an Aer Lingus operated Airbus A320. She's got the newest of the Aer Lingus liveries on board, the 2019 livery. She is 19 years old, this aircraft. Pay attention to this aircraft. She's all modern, almost more premium even she looks than that old tired 50-50 Aer Lingus livery. We've got another A330 on taxi. We've got a 757 on taxi as well. Don't forget, if you are joining us for the first time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check out airportslivetv.com, all of your latest aviation and airline news, all your latest incidents as well on there, along with a great cruise news section, bringing you all the info from around the world of cruising. We've got our travel inspiration blog there as well, and you'll find links to all of our partners over there. Here we go, this A320 now heading over to Geneva. Nice fresh looking aircraft that, for almost 20 years old. The rain's starting to come down now here at Dublin International. Oh, I must say a big thank you to everybody who has been donating through PayPal towards that skydive in memory of my great late friend, Mr. Kevin McCreef. A real inspiration to thousands and thousands of people. Kevin battled cancer for a long time, at least 10 years of the years I knew him. He was battling cancer, and what an inspiration he was. Sadly passed away around a week ago. I'm doing that skydive. Anything that we raise through PayPal donations this month is all going to cancer charities, and we as a company are matching it. So you raise £1,000, we match you with £1,000. You raise 10 grand, we match it with 10 grand. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We get quite a few planes crisscrossing. It is good for that. Here we go, another A320. just over a month to go now until we head to Lanzarote. We're going to bring you as many live airport streams as we possibly can. We will be using Facebook Live whilst we are there as well for all non-airport related content. So we will be going live at night, possibly throughout the day, because I'm staying a little bit further away from the airport this time because I'm out there filming for something else. So one of the issues we have with YouTube, and it's a big issue, is copyright. So at night, if we're in a bar and there's music playing in the background, we just get copyright strikes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go live on Facebook whilst we're over there. So make sure you are following us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Can you check on my Wounded 787? It's round, or it was round in the cargo area, Denia. I can't see it from here, unfortunately. Here we go, we've got this Airbus A330 now on departure. She's up and away, beginning that right-hand bank. Quite a sharp right-hand bank from the 330 as well. You would definitely have noticed it on that flight. I've had 2 departures now, is it 3 departures from this north runway. Twice I've barely noticed that right-hand bank. And then one time I did really notice it. I can't remember exactly where I was sat on the aircraft each time. I won't be able to check on it till July the 31st. Denia, are you off work? Hoping departures are from the north runway on Wednesday evening. Where are you heading to, Neve? The weather in Warwickshire is 21 degrees with rain on and off, but we can put up with it. Cold. It's not like the weekend, it was really bad. Yeah, the weekend was brutal here as well. Oh, it left to late yesterday. There we go, Sir Spotter. I haven't been here all weekend, Denia, so I haven't seen that. It was an expensive week for people here at the airport, wasn't it? Heading to Krakow. No way. How long you going for, Neve? Where are we heading next? We're heading to London Gatwick with this Ryanair operated Boeing 737, 11 years old, registered in October of 2011. And then it looks like we have our United operated Boeing 757 that's going to be heading over to New York. Here we go, we're London Gatwick bound now. United lined up, so we'll have a quick look at this and then we're heading to get ready for that 757. 28 years old, this 757, registered in November of 1994. Yes, I switched to that department on July the 31st. Maintenance capacity. Yes, I remember you saying now, Denia. I only used North Runway once, and I was in the aisle seat off to Krakow in May. I didn't get a good view. No way. I need to sort out my Instagram account. I've got you on Facebook though. You never can say. I'm on the road where the cows normally are, but they're not here today. Here we go, the 757 up and away. What we got next? Let's have a look-see. Let's have a look-see. We're heading to Bilbao next with an Airbus A320 operated by Aer Lingus. This aircraft 18 years old. So remember the one we saw with the new livery that was 18 or 19 years old compared to this one that's coming past? It has got the old livery. Looks so much older. Going for 6 nights, never been so excited to see someone new. I've never been to Krakow. Is it really going to rain in Dublin all this week? That's what I saw online. But it looks nice. Yeah, it's forecast another week of rain now. I don't know if it, when you look at the forecast, it's forecasting it for the whole day, but the actual precipitation levels are quite low. So it could just be that there's going to be the odd drop of rain every hour. But hopefully it's not as bad as it was last week. It's great, but it can get really hot. We ate at this rooftop restaurant with a beautiful view of the river at sunset. If I find the name, I can share it with you. Yeah, the rest of Europe is going through this glorious heat wave. High 30s, low 40s, absolutely perfect weather. And I'm stood here in jeans and a hoodie. Like, there's something wrong here. I'm going to switch from 17 degrees Ireland to 45 degrees Sicily. Lucky you. Are you one of these people that doesn't like the heat though, Sir Spotter? I absolutely love it. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, there was something that came to my attention. I've had 4 different people reach out to us in the last 10 days regarding the situation with Love Holidays. And this is purely for awareness, guys. If you are thinking of booking a holiday and you're tempted to book through Love Holidays, I'm not going to discourage you from booking with Love Holidays, because they do come up from time to time with some great value deals. 8 times out of 10 they're no cheaper than booking it separately if you do a little bit of searching, but they do come up with some great deals from time to time. Now just be very, very careful. They have a condition in their T's and C's that's quite well hidden away. It should be raised pre-booking, in my opinion, by the agents. They charge I think it's €75 admin fee simply for giving you the password that belongs to you for Ryanair. Because if you need to change the name or adjust your flights or anything like that with Ryanair and you haven't booked directly with Ryanair, you will need a password. Now that password actually belongs to you because you're the passenger, you're the person who's paid for it. However, Love Holidays do not give you that password when you book. So you have to contact them and they charge you, I think it's €75 admin fee simply for giving you that password. It's absolutely scandalous. if they want to include that in the terms and conditions, it should be made very, very clear at booking stage. Love Holidays, shame on you for doing it. People are going through enough difficulties as it is without you charging an absolutely scandalous fee simply for sending an email containing something that actually belongs to the customer and not yourselves. Obviously, you then have to pay the Ryanair change of flight fee, which some people have a bugbear with. I, on the other hand, don't, because at least they can justify it. If you change your flight 12 hours before departure and you want to change it to 3 days later, they're then left with a seat that they may not sell, and you're transferring your flight over onto another flight, so that ticket that you've paid for is going onto another flight. So I sort of understand that, and they do have some administration to do. They have certain things that need to take place. But Love Holidays should just be giving that password out at the time of booking, and then they wouldn't have this issue. The other thing to be very, very careful with Love Holidays, and it isn't just Love Holidays, but they seem to be absolutely brutal for it this year, is if you book a holiday through them, and say it's for 2 people or 4 people or 5 people, and one of you doesn't fly out on that outbound flight, they are cancelling your return flights for the rest of the party, not just the person who doesn't fly out. So be fully prepared that if you're a group of 5 or 6 heading away on a girls' holiday, a lads' holiday, a family holiday, and for whatever reason one of you cannot fly, be fully expectant when you arrive at the airport for your return flight that it has been cancelled by Love Holidays. Now, these are things that will be hidden away in terms and conditions, but things like this should be very transparent in my opinion. Anyway, that was just for awareness, so do be careful. How are we doing, Ellen Rogers? Welcome back in Denver. It'll be 38 degrees today. No way. James Davies going to Wales. The night before at midnight it was 39. What was this? In 2021 I was in Sicily when it was 48.8, the hottest Europe ever had, and I can tell you it was insane. I love heat. But one thing I will say is with heat, the heat, especially in the Med, is very, very different to heat in the UK, in Ireland. It's just a different type of heat. And also, places are set up for the heat. Like, you go in a supermarket on anywhere on the Med, and it's like walking into a fridge because their aircon is constantly on. They're that used to using aircon, whereas we just don't use it. There we go, she's up and away. We booked with Love Holidays to Salou, but I decided to book separately for Krakow. I wanted to have access to all the info. Exactly, Neve. And it's so important, like, none of us know what the situation is going to be. Like, people make the best of plans with the best of intentions at the moment. Let's book a holiday. You book it 6 months in advance. The way the world is, the way that people are struggling to pay their bills, there's every chance that people just physically can't afford to travel when it's due to travel. And you should have that flexibility. At the end of the day, you paid for that booking. How are we doing, Andrew Strain? Welcome, buddy. Let's go, Laters. How are we doing, bro? Hope all is good with you. Inda joining us from Indonesia. Welcome. 38 degrees anywhere else is the equivalent to 35 is equivalent to 18 in Europe. Yeah. Here we go then, we have one of the bigger girls on departure now. She's a 787 8 Series Dreamliner heading over to the home of the Fresh Prince. She's heading to Philly, 8 years old, registered in February of 2015, operated by Denier's mates, American Airlines. She's on the move, let's go. There you go, she's up and away. Don't forget guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you do check us out at airportslivetv.com as well. I thought you might like that one, didn't I? Let's quickly have a final zoom in for you. Heading over to see Will and Carlton, and was it Jazz? For me, Jazz was one of the most underrated characters on The Fresh Prince. He played such a big, integral part of making that show funny. Even like the intro where he gets drop kicked out the door by Uncle Phil. Make a beautiful shade tree. James Davis, welcome. See Iceland Air on taxi as well, I believe. First up though, we've got this ATR 72-600 series. Flight radar are missing destination details on this aircraft, so I can't give you a lot more info on it, other than it's 7 years old, registered in December of 2015. There you go, she's up and away. I like airplanes, do you? I do indeed, James. James Pardy, good morning from Indianapolis, 82 degrees with high humidity, enjoying the live stream. Thank you, James Pardy. Have a great day in Indianapolis. It's amazing, I think, to look back. We started in what, April the 5th of 2022 over on TikTok under a different name. We've obviously rebranded since then. But almost from day one, we have had a truly international viewership, and you can say a lot of bad things for social media, you can say a lot of bad things for the internet and for the way the world has gone, and I completely agree. It has caused probably issues that we didn't know about or weren't there in the years before. But I always find it amazing the reach that we have. The US, a lot of Asia as well. Those of you that have been with us a long time will know my background and what was planned for this year in terms of the other side of business interest. We have delayed it because there was still this level of uncertainty as to what was going to happen around Europe post-COVID and stuff. But for next season, there will be a new bar in the sun. I'm not 100% certain what we're going to do with it yet. The natural instinct is to go entertainment, go live music, go karaoke. That's what we do, that's what I enjoy. But I've got this crazy idea of taking on a relatively small bar, even if there's a second option. Taking on a relatively small bar and having it as a plane spotter's bar. Ideally, obviously, somewhere like Lanzarote where you've got a view of them coming in and stuff. But if not, have it as a plane spotters bar, an enthusiast bar, where the TVs, instead of showing live sports, are showing live aviation or showing replays of our live streams and all stuff like that, and have it fully themed as an aviation bar. I don't know. We're going to have to look at that, but it's something that I would love to do. Have you been to Western Airport? LRX? I haven't. Hey, Dashcam, how are we doing? What are you doing for the Bray Air Show? Or are you leaving it be? I'll be at the Bray Show. I don't think we're going to be streaming it because the connection was it was just non-existent last year, and everybody had the same problem. You couldn't even send a text message, never mind do a broadcast. I did reach out to Bray, or they contacted me, I got back to them. They don't really have anything in place for media as such, so I think we're just gonna give it a miss. If somebody else goes and can manage to get live, then fair play to them, and we will be watching it, of course. But it's a lot of gear to take. I did it last year, and that was only for TikTok. The equipment was a lot less back then. And even then, the annoyance of taking all that gear, because you have to really go in by dart. You can't really drive in because the traffic's mental. Christoph, we'll see you soon, mate. I have a lot of real shit because everybody loves the Irish. I've been playing spot in Ireland before you. James, possibly, yeah. So yeah, Dashcam, I don't think we're gonna, unless anything comes up between now and then. We were trying somebody who's got an apartment on the front so I could rent their balcony. Rent their balcony for the day, take a few people with us, have a barbecue, a few drinks, and do a stream from the balcony with Wi-Fi. But nothing has come to fruition just yet. I have a thumping headache and sore throat, no way. What have we got? We've got a 737. She's heading over to Liverpool. As you can see, operated by Ryanair. 14 years old, registered in December of 2008. So she is approaching 15 years old. We're not a million miles away from Christmas now. Over halfway there. What else we got? Nothing else ready just yet. I found it. My wounded 787 was ferried out of Dublin yesterday to Tulsa for repairs. Back on the road I go. Enjoy the stream chat. Creative, how are we doing? Dashcam, we'll catch you later on. Creative, how are we doing, buddy? Always a pleasure to see you with us. Now Val, the only thing that's wrong with Dashcam is because he's seen the forecast for 6 weeks time and there's a day that's going to be over 18 degrees, so he's panicking. countdown to native. I'm actually looking forward to the winter this year. As a lot of you know, I am going to be based over in Spain for the winter. I'm not doing another winter here where it's 90% certain that at least 50% of your scheduled streams are just not going to happen because of the weather. Obviously, there's a chance we're going to get bad weather over in Spain as well. Gets cold planes because it feels like the same plane's different. Yeah, LRX, that is one of the issues with Bray. Hopefully they get the red arrows this year. That was cancelled last year, wasn't it, due to the weather, and hopefully they get some decent weather for Bray. I think I'm going to call it a day in a minute because I've got something that I need to be doing for the website and a video to edit. And when it is quiet on departures, let me just check that there's nothing big on its way. I don't think there is. So it is a short stream. I appreciate that. I always sort of planned it to be short. I expected it to be short. It's our first one back for the week. I wanted to see what the network was like in this location because we did struggle here last week from this exact spot, and I just wanted to check whether it was due to the weather or whether it was just due to general network black spot in this area. Speaking of connectivity and things like that, Vodafone Ireland have just introduced a brand new visitor experience for Ireland, and it's, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you know, like, you get the escape rooms now, they're a big craze. You get museums about aviation, you get museums about the war and stuff. What Vodafone have decided to do here in Ireland is to take people back 20 years. It's something I didn't really want to experience again, but it seems to be something that they want to push on people. Going back 20 years, you know, where you had to walk around holding your phone in the air to try and get reception? That's what Vodafone have introduced into Ireland. Now, all joking aside, I don't know if it is actually a planned visitor experience, but that is what is happening with Vodafone in Ireland right now. Their coverage is becoming so volatile, so erratic, it is unreal. I am going to be staying on just for a few more minutes because I've just seen in the background that the TUI 787-9 series Dreamliner is now active. She's pushed back, she's ready to begin taxi, to begin that journey over to Cancun. So we are going to wait for that one. That will be the final flight of the live. Has anyone seen the Ryanair documentary on Amazon? I haven't, creative, but I shall be watching it later. Yeah, I've just noticed it's just dropped a couple of frames now. I am just going to stick with it just to try and get this Cancun departure. There's too many people on the internet, it's impossible to do a live stream. Yeah, to be honest, it should be okay around here, Andrew. It's just getting, I don't know, I struggle to understand how such a relatively small landmass that is relatively flat doesn't have better, more reliable 4 and 5G coverage. 5G forget, but 4G coverage, it's just so, it's bizarre to me. Let's just have a look and see where this TUI is. She is taxiing now. Okay, we've got an ATR 72-600 series heading to Aberdeen next. And then what have we got? I think possibly the one after this is going to be our Cancun flight. Here we go, this ATR now on the move. She's up and away. Come on, Tui, where you at? We've got a Bombardier Challenger 605 next for departure. No flight info held, no aircraft info held on flight radar at all. Interesting. In fact, the TUI 787-9 series has disappeared from flight radar. It's disappeared from sight as well. Hopefully she reappears in a moment. Do just need to say a big thank you as well to everybody who watches us on replay. We do greatly appreciate it, it helps us a lot. What's the flight number? I don't know, I can't. Oh, she's back on. She is back on. She's moving. Where's this Bombardier Challenger though? Right, she's taxiing now. She's probably, I think, the third departure. That TUI will be the final one of the day from us. We've got the Bombardier Challenger 605. Then we've got an Airbus A320 heading to Charles de Gaulle. And then it looks like we have that 787-9 series Dreamliner heading over to Cancun in Mexico. It's nice to see TUI operating long-haul routes from Ireland. Again, just I guess one of the last true package holiday providers in Europe, really. I know there's others, but they're one of the last original players, shall we say. Obviously, it used to be Thomson, or Thomson you were bought by TUI, whichever way round it was. And I guess there's a lot of people would have very fond memories of package holidays. I know I certainly have. And it is something that I think the market misses. Not too sure what the hold-up is here. This Gulfstream seems to have stopped on the taxiway. sorry, the Gulfstream, I meant the Bombardier Challenger. It has indeed just stopped on a taxi. So there's going to be a bit of a delay here. I'm not sure what the hold-up is. Guess they're just trying to keep Airports Live TV going for a little bit longer. TUI Dreamliner is on taxi though. She'll just be coming into shot now. There we go, that Challenger now on the runway. I'm going to go as far as to say, I actually think that 787-9 series that we've just seen from TUI probably is one of the more impressive Dreamliners that we see in the world of aviation. There's something about that livery. We tend to see quite plain liveries on Dreamliners. Obviously Qatar, it's a nice livery, but it is quite plain. That TUI livery, it's a little bit interesting. It's got that holiday vibe. I don't know if it's just because obviously that blue colour is so synonymous with TUI, with Thomson. It just makes you think holidays. Here we go. This Bombardier Challenger up and away. Nice whistle from the Bombardier Challengers. We've got one more before this Dreamliner, and that is us for the day. As soon as that Dreamliner is up and away, we're also up and away. Hey, did you see the images from the collapsed Dawn American Airlines flight? I did indeed, Ellen. It was an expensive day in the office. I was speaking to somebody as well, and I don't know if anything's been confirmed about it yet or not, but everything pointed towards operator error as well. Now that may not be the case, but from a basic first glance, it appeared like it was operator error, because the air bridges at Dublin use hydraulics. Well, if it was a hydraulic failure, from what I was told, it's unlikely it would have been an instant failure from it. So it sort of indicates operator error, but I don't know. The aircraft is over in the US now, Ellen. Flew out yesterday, so we've just found out. Right, our penultimate flight of the day. She's an A320, she's heading over to Charles de Gaulle, operated by Aer Lingus, with the nicest livery, the 2019 livery on board. Here we go. Apologies guys, I don't know what I was looking at there, but it certainly wasn't that shot, was it? Quickly get back to that TUI. Excuse me. Okay, we've got a 6-year-old Boeing 787-9 Series Dreamliner next for departure. Is our final departure of the live. She's heading over to Cancun. This aircraft is being operated by a TUI Fly Nordic crew. Enjoy this one. We will see you all tomorrow. It's going to be an afternoon live tomorrow. Have a fantastic Monday evening wherever you are in the world. Whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay blessed. We've been Airports Live TV. I've been Adam James. We're back. We're ready for action here at Dublin International all week long. Don't forget, we're the OGs. We're the real deal here at Dublin. All the latest live aviation news, cruise news, holiday inspiration and exclusive offers available over at airportslivetv.com. Check it out. This is the final flight from us. Hasta mañana.